Happy Friday, everyone. Gosh, I know it's been like a week since I've been on here. So, hope everyone's having a great week until I get my haircut. So, if you don't like it, keep that comment to yourself. So, um, today I want to, let's see, what are we talking about today? We are talking about another Am I the A-hole for saying I wasn't surprised her child doesn't get invited to Playdates. So let's look at the actual title. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepsister I'm not surprised her child doesn't get invited to parties? I mean, just with that question, I would say yes. Again, as I've said before, I don't really like calling anyone that an a-hole, but I think the point I'm trying to make is I don't think it was right for you to say it to her, unless she asked for your opinion. But we're going to read this. I haven't read this whole question here. So let's get into it. My stepsister Micah and I have daughters a year apart. Micah's daughter Gemma is 9, and my daughter Serena is 8. Gemma has bad behavior issues since I can remember. When she was younger, she had constant tantrums, couldn't sit still, and would vandalize anything she could get a hold of. As she got older, her lack of manners and destructive behavior made her nearly impossible to be around, and besides that, she was really mean. She told my daughter that her modeling campaign photos were ugly. She calls people stupid constantly, teased my mother's dogs to the point she isn't allowed near them anymore. She's just not nice. The other day, me and Micah were at our parents' house, and my stepdad mentioned Serena's birthday and that she was having a small party. 4 girls from her class for a shopping, spa experience, and sleepover. Micah asked me if I was planning to invite Gemma. Previous years, Serena had large, so we invited Gemma as a courtesy. I said no because Serena is having a small party for her friends this year, and since the girls are not close, I was not going to force her to invite Gemma. Micah said I was teaching Serena to exclude people, to which I said that not being friends with someone isn't excluding them. This conversation went back and forth for nearly 10 minutes, and I was getting fed up trying to be diplomatic because I know for a fact that Micah is aware of what Gemma is like. She complains often. So I didn't see why we were skirting around the obvious. Then Micah said that I should show some compassion since Serena's party might be the only party playdate Gemma is invited to this year. I just said I wasn't surprised. Micah asked and what I meant by that, and I said that Gemma is not kind to people around her and lacks social skills, and she's at an age where kids will notice that and not be forgiving. Micah seemed taken aback and said that she can't believe I would be so cruel about a child. She got her things and left, and is apparently not speaking to her dad because he didn't stand up for her over what I said. She has also said that she won't be coming to any upcoming family events. My stepdad said I was right, and that while he finds it hard to be honest about Gemma, it's good that I was. My mother said while I was right, as a mother, it's not an easy thing to hear about your child. My husband says that I should have stuck to saying no to Gemma coming to the party and left it there because she isn't our concern beyond that, and I should stay in my lane. I'm kind of questioning it now because I am someone who generally does stay in my lane and not get involved in other people's parenting, excuse me, or family business. But the comment was topical to what Micah was trying to force me to do, so I'm not sure I was out of bounds to say it. Am I the a-hole? Edited, Gemma has been seen by several child psychologists and pediatricians for ADHD, autism, other diagnoses. She was found not to meet any of the diagnostic criteria. I believe the last time she was tested was around 6, 7. Okay, so I tend to agree with the husband. As I was reading this, that's what was going through my brain. We have to stop thinking that it's our responsibility to justify our decisions. You decided, excuse me, on a small party for your daughter. You invited a few of her closest friends, and you don't have to explain that. You don't have to apologize for it. You don't have to make excuses for it. That's what it is. So that's number one, is just, when you make these decisions, make them, own them, and stick to them, and stop thinking that it's up to you to justify it, because it's not. You don't have to. Okay? Can I help you?
Sorry, I was gonna ask you, want me to take her on a walk before I go to bed?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Can you shut the door, please?
Yeah, do you want her in?
She can be in. Sorry about that interruption. So, okay, so let's get back to that. Where was I? Okay. So that's number one. You're not your job to justify your decisions. Okay. When you and your stepsister were going back and forth, you were, she's now then trying to guilt trip you into inviting her daughter, which is just immature. I get this whole thing with possibly she has ADHD, autism, excuse me, other diagnosis, but ultimately, um, that that's neither here nor there. Okay, it really doesn't matter. Excuse me. I'm thinking it has more to do with poor parenting. Um, Gemma's Gemma's behavior issues. I tend to think it's more a lack of proper parenting going on. She probably doesn't have any boundaries set in place or any discipline going on. I mean, I don't know that for a fact because I don't live in their home. I don't know them. But I mean, people are just quick to jump on all these disorder things. And I'm not saying that it isn't sometimes valid, but it isn't always valid. Sometimes it's just kid needs a little discipline. Kid needs to learn boundaries and needs to learn the word no. And I mean, so that's where I stand with that. So ultimately, I think you shouldn't have said anything to her. You should have just said what to end the conversation. You could have ended the conversation by saying, I'm sorry that this hurts your feelings. It's not my intention, but this was a decision my husband and I made for our daughter's birthday party, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And you leave it at that because you don't have to justify your decisions to anyone. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. I wonder, what other people think. What are all of you thinking that you're watching and what you think of that? And whether, you know, whether you agree with what I said or you think she should have said what I just don't think, unless you are specifically asked for your opinion, I don't think you should give it. But and I've also said before, I think on other episodes, that sometimes you're asked for your opinion, and so you give it, and then it ends the relationship because people don't want to hear it. They think they did because they expected that you were going to agree with them, and you didn't. And so sometimes giving your opinion, even when it's asked, is not going to give you the outcome that you want. So anyway, feel free to comment with any feedback or questions you have, and that's it for today. We'll talk about the next one on the next episode. So talk to you soon.